Right, let's talk about domestic matters. Can you tell us any more about Derek McInnes? The Derek McInnes era is underway at Ibrox. Keith, when can Rangers fans expect to hear from the new manager?
That is the only development that I've got for you on that one, Dan. I believe that Derek McInnes is still in Florida. He was on Boston, travelled back down to Florida on holiday. His family, and I believe he'll start making their way home over the weekend, and I would expect the official unveiling of Derek McInnes as Rangers manager to be made next week, before the end of next week. I'm not unsure exactly in the specific time scale, but I expect it to happen next week, and it's going to be so interesting to hear from him. It's also going to be so interesting. I think that, one of the things that we picked up on, the fact that he's not a head coach, I'm very much looking forward to somebody from the club explaining why they went down the head coach sort of route under Kevin Thelwell, why they've reversed back from it, and why it's important for the club and for Derek McInnes that this appointment, the word manager, is so prominent that it's not by accident. This is a sign for me that Rangers are taking a big change in the direction that Kevin Thelwell plotted for them. And I tell you something, that seems to me to be the shrewdest thing that they can do.
To be fair, Jacko, in terms of hearing for the club, I need to give them a wee bit of credit, and Andrew Cavan in particular. So far, they have fronted up.
Oh no, totally. But on this specific thing,
yep. I think he will.
And he has said he's taken ownership for the mistakes that have been made. I think changing the job title of the most important role at the club was a major mistake, and I thought it was unbecoming of the position.
I think you know as well as I do, Andrew Cavan has had conversations with people, ex-players, people that have been around the club, people that know the club, and my reading of that situation is he's taken all of that on board, and he clearly, you're right, as a change of tack, he clearly thinks a Rangers manager is the way to go about things now, as opposed to
or it might well be that Derek McInnes stipulated it in his talks. I don't want to be employed and given that role as first team coach. I want to come in the door as manager.
Yep.
And I need the respect that comes with the position.
In the comments, guys, Ross says, do you see Derek McInnes breaking up the Celtic title rhythm, Keith? The pressure is on McInnes before a ball is kicked.
Two things. First of all, Celtic seem to be hell-bent on breaking up the Celtic title rhythm, which is good timing for Derek McInnes. I'm full of admiration and respect for Martin O'Neill, and I've said so on many occasions. I also said that he did enough last year to probably earn the right to decide if he was ready to go again. Clearly he did decide that, but the sort of turmoil that his backroom team hasn't just been ordinarily appointed at the same time, everyone feels a bit off with Celtic. They're vulnerable right now, and I think that Derek McInnes could sense that when he was at Hearts. Maybe he just didn't have the budget. I think that a massive part of that, Daniel, maybe a little bit of an exclusive, was around about January time when Lawrence Shankland got injured. I think that Derek McInnes told his superiors at Tynecastle that he desperately needed a striker to cover that problem area to fill the boots that Lawrence Shankland had left empty. And I believe whether it was Tony Bloom or not, I'm not entirely sure, but the message come back, no, we're not prepared to. And I think that Derek McInnes had actually got a striker in mind. And in his view, you couldn't replace Lawrence Shankland light for light, but they might have had the goals in this particular player that would have kept him in a safe distance at the top of the table. And if you remember, they went through a run of 3 or 4 games, and the points just started to go down like that, and it meant that both Celtic and Rangers got themselves back into a race that they should have been run out of. And I think if Derek McInnes had got that backing in January, we might be talking about a very different end of the season, a very different run-in. I think that will have really frustrated him. I think that's one of the reasons why when Rangers came calling, I don't think he really hesitated in any way, shape or form. And I think he expects to be fully backed. Now, if Hearts fully back him, we're not talking, it's not in the same ballpark in terms of the budgets and the kind of financial muscle that Rangers can offer him. And I think that Derek McInnes will fancy his chances. He nearly did it on the Hearts budget. How much closer can he get on the Rangers budget?